Welcome back, adventurers! I'm an adventurer like you, and I'm playing Crusader Kings III. In this series of Let's Play for Achievements, we have been playing in the Far East, and as you can see, we are now switching over to the Far West. The Emerald Isle takes place in Ireland, and our goal is to unite the island and become King of Ireland. Now, there are possibilities and there are ways to even make it easier on yourself, but we're going to make it a little bit harder and get some extra challenge into our play. Now, as usual, I take a bit of time to set up my court and stuff like that, and it takes a bit of time. Now, I know not everybody's interested in seeing that, so I decided to do this as a part 0, a setup video for those people who do want to see how I do that. Maybe they can pick up some tips from that, I don't know. I'm perfectly fine with people not watching this video, skipping this one for part 1, where we do the actual gameplay. So, let's get into it. And normally here in Leinster there is a very old guy, but you're reliant on the RNG, random number generation, for the exact skills he gets. Sometimes he gets really good skills, but it's often a mix of good and bad, and I don't want to rely on that. I've tried to roll a perfectly good one, which I had before when I tried this out with some mods and not playing for achievements, but right now it's just not going to be that way. So what I did is I rolled my own character in the ruler designer. As you can see here, the beautiful Brennan of Leinster. Okay, so yes, I made him old as well, 70. 70 is like the top limit of where you can get points. So as you progress in age with your character, you get more and more points returned for customization. Right? You have to do a maximum of 400 points for the ruler designer, otherwise you won't be able to get achievements. Right? You could cheese it completely if you wanted to. And trust me, I have tried that with modded private playthroughs. But to stay within the limit of 400 points, it can be useful to go and get an older character. Now, a 70-year-old in the normal game would not have many years left of his life. So we have tried several tricks in the book to get more out of that. So we have Mastermind Philosopher, and then we did Novice Physician, gets a health boost, right? And with Mastermind Philosopher, the learning lifestyle, we get a lot of traits in that, in those trees, and so we get whole of body, medium health boost, and 20% less stress gain, and Scholar, which adds to our learning knowledge as well. So then we have Temperate. This trait also, it gives us higher stewardship, which is very helpful because we will need money, and it gives us a health boost as well, and it's virtuous to people of our religion, so we even get an opinion boost and more piety. So this is a really good trait to get, and that altogether gets me to this. I'm feeling fine because of the Temperate trait, whole of body from the learning lifestyle, Stubborn, which is another one, and novice physician. So stubborn, this one, we are stubborn again. It's a stewardship boost, but also a health boost, or at least it's a boost to disease resistance. And that is good. Now, our liege and vassal opinion is a little bit lowered. We don't have a liege, so that doesn't matter. Vassals, we have none either. See here, vassals 0. But in the future, we hope to have a few vassals. But that is, how do you say, tempered by this, or undone actually, because we have insular opinion. As long as they are of our religion, they get a higher opinion of us, and also because we are chaste. So higher learning because of this, and chaste characters like us more, but also people of our religion, insularist, which is insular Christianity, the Irish form of Christianity. Back in the day, apparently. So we get more piety, a higher opinion of people from Ireland in general, which is very good. It's especially good because people like us more. They are more willing to get married to us, for example, and they are less likely to rebel against us once we have conquered their lands. And I also have a novice physician, gives us a small boost to disease resistance and higher learning. So all of this is really useful. And I put a few more points here. So we have learning is our number one skill. We have a stewardship. It's important because we want money. And then we only have average martial and diplomacy. We have the diplomat trait, which gives us more diplomacy, and also again independent ruler opinion, which will be helpful in forming alliances. So that's a bit of the reasoning for how I put this character together. With all this, especially whole of body and the other boosts here, temperate, stubborn, we should be able to survive for quite a few more years. Let's see how that works out this time, because we should doesn't mean we will. Also because we have we have 1 point of intrigue because we're quick, right? We have this quick one, gives us a little bit more, and also more lifestyle experience. So our intrigue is terrible. We do have a somewhat decent spy master, and we may be able to get a better one down the road. But yes, if people are plotting against us, we won't see them coming. It's that simple. So hopefully that doesn't happen anytime soon. So that's the setup of our character. The backstory I thought of is that Brennan has been a simple village chief, right, in some small hamlet somewhere in Leinster, doing his thing, doing a bit of doctoring, right, a bit of getting people to not fight with each other, stuff like that. And then suddenly one day, the chieftain of Leinster was killed. And someone had to step in, right? And they asked Brennan here to become the new chieftain because of how well he had been doing in the little place where he had been living all of his life very happily, just tending to his sheep, right? And the people of the village. Yeah, he had never been married. He hadn't been very interested in that. And, well, look at him. He's not very attractive, maybe. He's short and stocky. He's stubborn. So, yeah, he has been celibate for all his life. No children. But now that he's the chieftain, of the Earldom of Leinster, he needs to get into gear and make something of this place. And make sure that, well, whoever comes after him will be good enough to lead this earldom as well. So we are going to be looking for a wife. And we are going to be looking possibly for a better marshal as well, because that will be important if we want to conquer all of Ireland. And that is a challenge. As I said, you can make it easy on yourself if you want to do this achievement for the Emerald Isle by going for this guy. High Chieftain Aid McGormleth of Meath. Oh yeah, let me tell you this. I am not an expert in Irish. I've heard some names. I know that they're often pronounced differently than that they're written, so I'm going to be butchering lots of Irish names, so my apologies in advance. I'd be happy to hear from viewers how it should be pronounced, especially if they're native speakers. But yes, please forgive my ignorance. Okay, this High Chieftain, so he's basically a duke. He has 2 counties, and he is married. Wait a moment. I thought he was normally allied to Alba, but that apparently hasn't happened in this case. Or not yet, but maybe he has enough prestige that he can marry one of his children. Okay, so yeah, I'm used to seeing this guy because I tried a few ways to set this up. I'm used to seeing this guy already allied to Alba, and once the game unpauses and he starts building up his armies, that will be much bigger than this. So that would be a good way to get all of this easily. The only other really strong foe here is Jarl Ivar the Boneless with a 6,000 strong army. He has 5,000 event soldiers. So yeah, that is the number one problem for this achievement, to get Dublin. But we'll let him fight, and hopefully a lot of his soldiers will get killed, because he is already in a couple of wars, right? So he's fighting over England. We'll leave him be, and that will be one of our last counties to unify within the Kingdom of Ireland. Yeah. Obviously, he's not an Irish ruler, so you can't choose him to do this achievement. But any of the others can be, and this guy is one of the stronger ones because he's a duke. But I'm going for Leinster, and especially this 70-year-old Brennan. All right, let's set this up. I have had a look at what other people are here. We have some interesting characters. There is this genius woman. She is decent in stewardship, right? So she could give us a boost there, and having genius children is probably a good idea, which is why she's at the top of my list. There is also Efrosini, who is a good spy master. Then there is Bjortvled, I think. And she is a lustful, which counteracts our chaste trait. And she is pretty. Well, she's comely. And she just looks really dashing, I think. And with a 4-star stewardship education, she could also be helpful in training some of our children. At least I'm hoping that we'll get a few. At least one son, right? The problem with her is that her marshal is also terrible. And for a wife, I would want someone who has better marshal. Then there is this one who does have that, but she doesn't look very attractive to me. And she's chaste. So while she is good for having as a boost to my low martial skill, yeah, she's not the one who's going to be bearing my children, most likely. Though she is insular, right, of our faith, so that means once we have a wife, we could, if she's still single, try and get her as a secondary. There's also Dubessa, who is intelligent. And has high stewardship, reasonably high diplomacy, and, well, her marshal is not non-existent, at least. So that's another one, and she's actually in our court already, so I'm going to be picking her up as a secondary wife if nobody else picks her up before I do. Because first of all, if we want to get one of these others, they are Catholics, right? They're monogamous. So I can only marry them if they're the first wife. Otherwise they will just say, I'm not going to get into polygamous marriage. What kind of a heresy is that? So yeah, what's more important? The genius trait. Having someone who can be our spy master, although, like I said, we have someone who is, well, competent. She's competent. And, yeah. That's okay for now. It would be good to have someone who's even better. Definitely. She also is quick, and that's a nice trait to have. Yeah. The problem with these is, even though they are lowborn, they refuse marriage with our single men because of a difference in religion. It just doesn't work out. Also, very curious, we have a father and a son both on our council. And the father is okay, but he's 57, so I'm not sure how long he will be with us. All right. So there's that. And then this one. I just really like her. Lustful. That's also, it's what we need, right? This would be great to have, but the problem here is her terrible martial stat. It's just really terrible. And she's insular, so if we pick her up as a second wife, then we can switch her out when we need higher martial. That's my thinking. So, this one or the genius one. That is the question. I think we need to go for lustful just to make sure we have an heir. to counteract our chaste trait. She will accept. Let's do it. All right. Yeah, we have no heir. That's to come. We're not endorsed by our bishop. We're not endorsed by our bishop. It's -14. That's not good. But we can do something about that. We have too few spouses. Yeah, once she is in our court, we'll get a few more. And we need to set up our lifestyle. We have 18 trait points, 18 perk points to put into here. Although we already have Whole of Body and Scholar, I think that is a bug. See, these were I didn't select these in the ruler designer. They were given to this character once I started to play, right? Because he's 70 years old, obviously he's had a lot of lifetime experience. The problem is that I have these traits, I have the effects of these traits, but they don't show up in here. See, they're not unlocked here. Now, I'm gonna unlock all of this anyway. I want most of this anyway, but Theologian is helpful. For example, where is it? Church and State. Realm Priest Opinion plus 50 would get our bishop immediately on our side. But other than that, this is not terribly important yet. When we get Dublin, which is now Norse and Asatru, then we will need to convert them. So then this would be useful. So we can work on that slowly, because Dublin is like the final part, right, of our plan. So let's get these two trees. Should we go for a medicine focus? A scholarship focus with development growth, or theology focus with extra piety. Now I think we're gonna go for this one. It's really close because they're all really good. Health boost is definitely welcome. Development growth, yes, but we're tribal, so how much development are we really gonna do? And that depends a lot on how much money we'll get. Theology focus with extra piety is important because we need piety to declare war. So I'm thinking we should go for this. Let's go for this, at least for the first 5 years, and then we can switch, right? We can switch. So we have done all this in our life. Right, normally now you get a pop-up saying that you gained whole of body, but we already have that. So, okay, and then we can do another tree here. The thing also is with our bishop, we don't need him right now because as a tribal person, we can declare war for any county anyway. Okay, so we are whole of body, we are scholar, right? And we'll work on this. All right. I want to get a possible better marshal. Now I have a spy master who is single, and I'm probably going to take her as a secondary wife. We have this person also who is a decent diplomat, and then there's Dobessa, who we thought we could get a secondary wife. Yeah, so this one, can we find a spouse for you that has high martial? 21. That is not bad at all. There is also Loop, who is a genius, also 21. But would he marry her? Yes, he will accept. So we might get little albino geniuses. But matrilineally, yes, he still wants to come. But he's chaste, so chance of children is low. Oh well. Most importantly, we want him to be our marshal. Brilliant strategist, organizer. And then of course you'll see it will be our good luck that in the first battle he'll get himself killed. Yeah. His prowess is only 6. Okay. What about the others up here? We're going by Marshall. His prowess is 8. 13. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. And he's also a legendary blade master. $20. Yeah. I mean, this is a guy you want on your side. Vincenzo. Yeah, only 3. Okay, I think we should get this Payan. Yep. I think so. We also need a court physician. So top realm, yes. Right now we have a 12. Yeah. Can we get you someone with higher learning? Yes, we can. We could get this one for ourselves actually, but yeah, it doesn't matter. I think she's chaste as well. We're not going to get any children, so I'll get her into our court to be our court physician and teacher. Okay, then what else do we have? I think that's it for now, huh? We want a better bishop. Okay. To the sensible Brennan, I gladly accept your marriage proposal. I will graciously take the hand of your courtly art in holy matrimony. Excellent. And you shall be our court physician. And there goes my money. It's worth it though. But where is my wife? There she is. Hi, Björkflad. Gladly accept your hand in marriage. May Saint Bridget bless our union, my sensible husband. Sensible? Have you seen? Oh. Well, you get to know me, and you'll say better things than just sensible. Excellent. Okay. So, what we want now is for her to convert, and she will. That's another marriage. Okay, you can be my marshal. She agrees to convert. That's great. Then now I can marry some others without her getting upset. Okay. Only thing is, I'll need to marry others of the insular Christianity faith. Now we could marry one for an alliance. That's also a thing. But first of all, I think... Well, she probably wouldn't want to marry me. No, she will not accept because her faith doesn't allow polygamy. That's the problem. Will she accept anybody else? Oh, she will actually. He's not the best that we have, but it seems that's the only one she'll accept. She'll accept him, the father, as well, but he's chaste. So, no, go for the son. Yeah, you're closer in age, right? He's 17, she's 21. That's much better. Let's get her on board. And then there was also this girl. He's no longer available. You won't accept him. You won't accept him. And you will accept him. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I want her on board, right? So I'll arrange a marriage with her. And I guess with her. And then I have one more slot, I think. We need to wait for that one to agree. Excellent, excellent. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so Alfosini is in my court. Mascarosi is in my court. We could switch her out, but first of all, I want to marry her. Yep. All right. One big happy family, hopefully. We're still not endorsed, although he likes us slightly more. We can declare wars, but we won't do that in this episode. Yeah, I think we're about all set up. We could use a few better champions, but I don't think we have anybody single, right? Adult, female, unmarried. Nope. Alright. And we do have prestige, so we could get some men-at-arms. Yeah. Okay, so we have Ossory, Ormond, they are all 5 champions, and Desmond. I think we should probably attack them first. Come out. No. Okay. So we have mostly wetlands here. Plains, 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 and then wetlands, wetlands, wetlands. Plains, wetlands, and then here there are some hills. And here are some hills, but that's not really that important. And he, see, he got his alliance. Constantine. Ah, his daughter married the king of Alba. Very nice. Yeah, I don't have any daughters I can marry to get this alliance, so yeah. Here he goes. So he got over 1,000 troops, and together with this guy they have like 1,500 between them. Oh, it's even more now. So yeah, that's a force to be reckoned with. Something we will need to prepare for. But yeah, so if you're this guy, when you're playing it, then you know you should marry your daughter to the King of Alba, and you'll be strong. And we're just normal for an Irish count, earl, chieftain. Okay. Armored footmen are always good. Pikemen are good in hills and mountains. Light horsemen on plains, drylands, and not in wetlands. Bowmen are good in forests and on hills. Yeah, light footmen, forest, taiga, jungle. I think we need to go for these. In plains, right? We have some plains down here. Yeah, I'll get these two. Okay. And let that build up a bit. And our neighbors are already fighting. Oh no, those are raiders. Okay. Let that finish. Okay, 1st of May. That's a good point to cut off this setup episode, and then from the next episode we'll start to actually wage war and go for unification of the Emerald Isle. So, thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit that like button, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time.